Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 585 based on novel. So let's start. The first holy flame. With the opening of the Holy King, the pupils of the many peak powerhouses around him could not help but be filled with a touch of unspeakable horror. According to legend, the first holy flame is an extraordinary divine object. If it shows up, I am afraid it is enough to set off a real storm. At that time, no one in this world can resist the supreme power of the latter, and what awaits them is undoubtedly the situation of destruction. You mean, the fusion of this extraterritorial leader and the human world's central world master is the so-called first holy flame? Although it was a little unbelievable, the Golden Dragon King couldn't help but speak. Tian Yuanzi, Di Yuanzi, the origin of the two of them is an unsolved mystery. But the dangerous fluctuations I feel from the evil crack are the real power of holy flame. I'm afraid the two of them are related to the so-called first holy flame. The Holy King shook his head, and the strong men also looked at each other in dismay. Today's endless fire territory is crowded with surging crowds. Countless geniuses from the Great Thousand World have already gathered here, and it has become the last hope of the Great Thousand World. Countless creatures raised their heads and looked up at the Holy King and other peak powerhouses, secretly praying that everyone would return in triumph. It is a pity that with the full blow of the Holy King and others, the attack that undoubtedly destroyed the sky and the earth quietly disappeared into the evil cracks. In the depths of the minds of countless creatures, there was an invisible fear and despair pouring into their hearts. Even these powers standing at the peak can't resist. How can they survive under the apocalypse? Above the azure blue sky, it became extremely dim at this time, and a dark crack like a shortage of sky was expanding little by little, as if it was coming from some empty place, step by step, facing the Great Thousand World. The extraordinary magical energy hidden in it, once it is completely formed and descends here, I am afraid that the great world will become lifeless. Is there no other way? In the dim sky, there are constantly falling eerie magic pillars. Every time they fall, they will lose a part of the territory of the Great Thousand World. Qing Yuan still asked unwillingly. The angel family is powerful, but the power is only guardian and divine after all. If it is really better than the combat power, the Holy King and Xiao Tianming are definitely stronger than themselves. The Holy King slowly shook his head, obviously at this time, even he became helpless. For a time, an aura of despair and sadness gradually filled the sky and the earth, and it seemed that the whole world had become lifeless, just like Sen Luo was dead. Boom. But just when such an extremely desperate atmosphere enveloped the sky and the earth, the golden clouds in the sky boiled up instantly, and then gathered together, a bunch of golden energy that penetrated the sky and the earth fell straight down, and the evil demons intercepted along the way. The pillars instantly turned into nothingness. Guru, that is. At this moment, the pupils of countless creatures shrank tightly, and the despair on their faces was instantly replaced by a touch of ecstasy. In the evil cracks, dark magic pillars and faint milky white flames continued to emerge. The latter seemed to be nibbling away at this piece of heaven and earth, but with the emergence of golden energy, those forces quickly melted away like residual ice and fire. And go! This volatility. Impossible. In the land of the Buddha realm, Ren Yuanzi, who is now slowly reuniting the three sources, is shaking violently. Even if it is separated by thousands of feet of void, the latter smells a familiar smell from the golden energy above the endless fire domain. Fluctuation. That kind of energy, that kind of fluctuation, he will never forget for life. The key to unlocking Paradise Lost, one of the 5 spiritual beads, is still in the hands of this god. Why can they lead to Paradise Lost? While speaking, the earth spirit orb in Ren Yuanzi's hand shone with a hot luster, as if being called. At this moment, on the altar of the Buddha realm, the milky white, jet black, and golden energy are slowly merging according to some extremely mysterious arrangement. During the process of fusion, the energy of the entire Buddha realm is boiling, destroying the sky. Destroying the earth. It seems that some ancient is being born. No! Absolutely can't let them destroy the plan of this god. Ren Yuanzi's heart moved, and he felt that fusion would take a lot of time. Immediately, a source of milky white flames overflowed, and then completely bloomed like fireworks in this dim void. With the appearance of Ren Yuanzi's actions, the entire void instantly became illusory, and then it sank, and the dark coffins with complex lines were slowly rising from the void. There are countless coffins, and a few of them are even filled with some kind of indescribable fluctuation. That kind of fluctuation is at least a demigod. Owner. The lid of the coffin slowly opened, and then a series of powerful people who shook the past and present, as if they were reborn, stood respectfully above the void. In their pupils, there was a pure milky white flame, and the flame slowly rose, even setting off their power to the extreme. Through this crack, to that world. To completely eradicate all heresies. We want to return to the ancient prosperity, as ordered. This stinky boy really didn't disappoint. The Holy King, who had been downcast a second ago and looked like a catastrophe was imminent, felt the magnificent passage built in the golden energy, and immediately opened his eyes with a smile. Go. Everyone glanced at each other and swept towards the back mountain where Xiao Yan was, because they also knew that with their strength, they could no longer compete with the gods behind the evil crack. After Nan Nan finished speaking, the soul power quietly returned to Yun Qi's body. Obviously, the long-term communication has consumed a lot of soul power. Yun Qi's soul regained control of the body, and instantly became shaky, the power in the body became overturned, and the qi and blood were quite disordered. You. Xiao Yang shook his head. I'm fine. Yun Qi gritted his teeth and said. All mysteries will be in paradise lost. Yun Qi made a slight voice, and then stubbornly looked at the golden path. On the golden path, there are too many complicated lines, and it seems that once you step on it, there is no turning back. Go. Seeing Xiao Yang's attitude, the four women beside him immediately smiled. Since the opening of Paradise Lost was not inspired by the complete 5 spirit pearls, this time, the fewer people who enter it, the better. With the arrival of the Holy King and others, Yun Qi's pretty face was solemn for a while, and she could clearly feel the breath behind the evil cracks in the heavens, filled with endless hatred and disgust. Seniors, this world will be yours. Even the worst outcome, I will defend it to the death. Go. While speaking, Xiao Yang held Yun Qi's jade hand and stepped onto the golden path without stopping, heading towards the so-called Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost in the Paradise of Gods, that is the last hope of the world today. As the loud noise fell from the sky, the mighty powers of heaven and earth drawn out by Nan Nan using the 5 spirit orbs gradually detached from the golden clouds and turned into countless magnificent thunderbolts, carrying a touch of fascinating energy. Ripples fell from the sky like nectar. Then those mysterious energies gathered in the mid-air, twisting the void, as if calling, constructing some kind of void passage leading to an unknown country. These are probably the handwriting of Nan Nan. Within 10 breaths before and after, everyone looked up and saw that above their heads, there was already a looming and magnificent portal. The latter was standing quietly in the void, and the pressure overflowing from the invisible was suffocating. The portal seems to have spanned countless years and is as firm as a god's mansion after countless disasters. The golden portal is covered with mysterious lines that are difficult to see directly. The whole gives people a grand, atmospheric, and awe-inspiring sense of awe, just like the portal of the god's mansion left over from ancient times, with pleated splendor. With the appearance of this ancient portal, the originally dead silence of the entire Great Thousand World actually became boiling. Countless pairs of eyes full of scorching heat and madness stared at the latter, as if relying on their perception, they also smelled a scent from behind the portal. Something desirable. That's the god of war. It's just that after a short period of madness, they gradually calmed down, and they also knew that such a fetish was definitely not something they could touch. But now the scene of the endless fire territory has undoubtedly made the hearts of the world's souls more. There is hope, so countless creatures continue to gather towards the endless fire domain. Here, there will be a fierce battle, a battle of heaven and earth that will affect the survival of the Great World War. Go. Everyone looked melancholy and stayed at the height of the towering ancient trees, watching Xiao Yang and Yun Qi step onto the golden path and head towards the entrance. It seemed that there was a touch of supernatural power slowly pulling them towards some mysterious place in the void. And go. Go. As soon as he saw the appearance of the golden portal, Xiao Yang used his whole body of holy flame to protect himself and Yun Qi, and then the two of them were as fast as lightning, rushing in directly at the portal. This is the last hope. If it is blocked by the guy in the evil crack, I am afraid the consequences will be unimaginable. It turns out that the legendary Paradise Lost actually opened like this. Looking at the actions of Xiao Yang and the others, the pupils of the Holy King and the others flickered slightly, as if they saw a piercing phantom from the golden portal in front of them, and those emptiness were filled with some kind of heart-pounding shadow. Fluctuation. However, they also understand that this kind of mighty power that annihilates the sky and destroys the earth is not something that they can touch the mere demigods. Bang! And at the moment when Xiao Yang's bodies were about to completely merge into the golden portal, a monstrous sound of resentment suddenly roared out from the evil crack above the sky. A group of ants. If it weren't for the fact that this ***** is now in a period of transformation, how could you and other mortals get involved in this place where the fighting gods sleep peacefully? Destroy this god. While speaking, a milky white chain of fire that surpassed the heavens and myriad laws, like a meteorite falling from the sky, quickly blasted towards Xiao Yan and the two of them. The speed at which the beam attacked was unusual, and it just arrived in front of Xiao Yan and the others in an instant, with an indescribable aura of destruction on it. Such a vicious attack, even if Xiao Yan, a quasi-god rank, could deal with it, he would be hurt. Not good. Seeing such a destructive attack that was difficult to defend, the Holy King and the others were startled, and then they gathered the little demigod power left in their bodies and tried to take this blow for Xiao Yan, but it was too late. You go in. This is our last hope. I can't watch these relatives helplessly, and my partner fell in front of me. Xiao Yan took a step forward, stopped in front of Yunqi, and then turned back suddenly, without looking at the entrance to Paradise Lost at the end of the golden path behind him. Crack. Looking at Xiao Yang's resolute figure, the soul in Yunqi seemed to be quite touched. It turned out to be the delicate body of Yunqi, who was in a trance and was chanting some obscure incantations. Go. Yunqi seemed to be in control of some incredible power at this time. The jade hand just raised, and he patted the milky white flame chain without the slightest trace. The flame chain easily turned into countless milky white powder, floating in the sky and the earth. Time, as if it had never happened before. However, Yunqi's face turned pale in an instant, as if he had spent a great deal of money. As soon as the voice fell, the two of them flashed and fell directly into the golden portal. Those flames that were shattered by Yunqi and turned into milky white powder with his own power, at this moment, there are traces of resurgence, and in just the blink of an eye, the back mountain of the entire endless fire area burned up, above the huge mountains and mountains. The milky white flame is like a ***** of death, ruthlessly plundering all the creatures that live here. On the other hand, the magnificent portal covered with golden lines, as Xiao Yang and the two stepped in, actually closed completely, and then turned into a part of this world completely melted into the void, but the endless fire domain in the high sky, there is constantly a strong shroud of divine power in heaven and earth, so that they know that what just happened is definitely not an illusion. The fluctuation of this flame is undoubtedly a non-holy flame. At this moment, a puzzled look gradually appeared in Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes, and then she looked at the evil crack in the sky, where there was an indescribable fear and an innate sense of familiarity. Do it, put out these flames, otherwise there will be endless troubles. This fluctuation is actually that little beast. Damn, it's still a miscalculation. After the war, I wanted to return to Paradise Lost to destroy everything, but in the end it was fruitless. I thought that this guy also fell with Yuan Tian's fall. I can't think of it. Humph. When the gods are completely integrated, the heaven and the earth are unified, and the ancient times reappear, this world will eventually be under the control of the gods, so what about a mere-born Holy Spirit? Among the evil cracks, in the land of the Buddha realm, on the endless pitch-black altar, 3 groups of exceptionally dazzling light flickered, merging and surrounding each other. Obviously, it is now at a critical point, unable to withdraw, but in this dark world, there are countless eerie coffins standing here quietly. Boom. With the opening of the ancient portal, a terrifying wave that seemed to be left over from the ancient times suddenly poured out from it. That power is God. Fighting God. The golden portal is just a passage into Paradise Lost, and at the end of this road is Paradise Lost. After the two stepped into the golden portal, they stepped on an ethereal golden path out of thin air, and Yunqi's pretty face tightened. No one knows the mystery and power of Paradise Lost, nor the cumbersome paths required to enter Paradise Lost. At this time, the 4 spirit beads used to open Paradise Lost kept spinning on Yunqi's arm, emitting a steady stream of fluctuations that were homologous to the golden path's breath, driving their bodies towards the golden path. Going to the end, if there is no protection of such power, the two of them will probably be easily wiped out by the golden path derived from Paradise Lost. In the process of advancing, Yunqi's expression was extremely pale at this time. It was obvious that he had just spent too much energy in resisting the fierce attack of Ren Yuanzi. Along the way, with the passage of time, Xiao Yang suddenly felt a wave of ancient and majestic energy continuously overflowing from the end of the golden path, and above the so-called golden path, there was an aura that subverted Xiao Yang. Unsurpassed power. That's divinity. The golden path is like some kind of material, constantly passing through their limbs and bones, trying to find out the key evidence to enter Paradise Lost. At the end of the golden path, there are countless faint golden mists gushing out. Those mists cover the void like a guardian. When you stretch out your hand slightly, you can clearly feel a vibrant comfort from the golden mist. This space is dead and silent, like a barren land that has been deserted and silent for a long time, but it is this abnormality that makes Xiao Yang physically and mentally shake. Can you hold on? Xiao Yang retracted his gaze and activated the burning power in his body, sending extremely pure power to Yun Qi, trying to temporarily stabilize the latter's injury. I'm fine. It's just that the power of another soul in my body conflicted with mine. Leave me alone, we don't have much time left. Yun Qi clenched his silver teeth lightly, looked at Xiao Yang, then stopped talking, took the lead in walking in the golden path, and guided Xiao Yang towards the entrance together. After crossing the golden path and entering the entrance, a strong and dazzling ancient light flickered, followed by a jump in the swirling space. The scene in front of him made Xiao Yang's expression completely moved. At the end of the golden path, there is a vast space. There is an ancient earth in the space. Above the earth is a magnificent and magical garden. The garden is suspended in the air like a castle in the air, exuding endless sacredness. Coercion, the area of the garden is vast and boundless, and it is impossible to have a panoramic view. This magnificent garden seemed unusually lonely at this time, as if it had been affected by some kind of destructive force. The two stepped into paradise lost one after the other, but even with Xiao Yang's strength, they couldn't set off too much spatial fluctuations, as if the latter's strength was limited by the pressure here. Phew. Wei set foot on this mysterious land. Xiao Yang kept walking away, glanced away, and then stared at this messy land, but the most striking thing was the one suspended in the air. Garden. That garden seems to be the long-rumored paradise lost in the Great Thousand World. However, with the power of Xiao Yang's soul today, his face is still ugly, because he can clearly feel that there is still an extremely terrifying power left in Paradise Lost. That kind of terrifying power, even the current strength of Xiao Yang, I am afraid it will be wiped out. What a terrifying coercion. This is the place where the god of war rests, Paradise Lost. At this moment, Xiao Yang keenly discovered that in the past, his soul power, which was enough to penetrate all things and spread all over the place, was only a few hundred meters away in Paradise Lost. The faint coercion that pervaded here undoubtedly suppressed many of Xiao Yang's magical powers. Brother Yuan Tian, Sister Yun Qi, you come with me. At the moment when the two had just stepped into Paradise Lost, Yun Qi felt that another soul that had been quietly entrenched in the depths of his body was easily detached and suspended in the mid-air on the ground in a brand new posture. There was a rare excitement in his eyes. Nah, there's not much time left, you. Yun Qi forcibly cheered up and seemed to want to break the act of Nan Nan. Do not. Nan Nan's soul body shook his head slightly, and then his arm slowly wrapped around Xiao Yang's arm, very excited. Brother Yuan Tian, come with me. This is the sword-wiping garden. In the past, Brother Yuan Tian used to practice swords here every day. This is. Brother Yuan Tian, have you still not remembered? Time kept passing, Nan Nan's soul body kept holding Xiao Yang's arm, and he kept walking around this land with the latter, and scenes of vicissitudes kept appearing in Xiao Yang's mind, but doing so did not work. Xiao Yang did not recover any memory about Paradise Lost. Xiao Yang shook his head. He didn't have any memories of everything in Paradise Lost, and Nanan's inquiry. However, on this ancient land, those buildings and vigor have long since vanished. On the entire land, countless dust and messes have emerged, like a wasteland of ruins, unable to outline any relevant memories at all. Girl, what is that? The three of them paused for a while, and then Xiao Yang's eyes turned to the depths of Paradise Lost in the middle of the earth. He pointed his finger lightly, as if out of some intuition, there was some kind of vast force emerging. As soon as the words fell, the smile on Nanan's face disappeared instantly, replaced by a touch of unspeakable sadness, as if from the direction Xiao Yang pointed, she felt an extreme anger. Looking up, Xiao Yang's finger was pointing in the depths of Paradise Lost. He could vaguely see the ground crumbled and the space shattered. It seemed that there was a golden tombstone with no end in sight. The space around the tombstone was full of it was showing a broken posture, and a terrifying coercion of heaven and earth slowly overflowed from the golden tombstone. Under that kind of unspeakable pressure, even the supernatural powers of the quasi-god rank powerhouses seem eclipse. There! In Yun Qi's beautiful eyes, a look of astonishment gradually emerged, and then he focused his eyes on Nan Nan and Xiao Yang. Hoo-hoo! At this moment, Xiao Yang's breathing became rapid, his eyelids kept beating, and the space at the golden tombstone was like a black hole, constantly swallowing all living beings in the world, but after staring at it for a long time, Xiao Yang's body burned silently for a long time. Yangshan cauldron, began to gradually become hot, and thousands of thoughts surged up, such a strange touch, as if humans who had been separated for a long time, once again returned to the place where they were born. Ecstasy. As soon as Xiao Yang's voice fell, Yun Qi moved when he heard the sound, and looked up at Xiao Yang, who looked strange. At this time, the latter was looking at the depths of Paradise Lost. On the ancient land, there was a radiating energy. The tombstone space with a faint luster, where there is a steady stream of endless divine power blooming, attracting people. Can I enter Paradise Lost? At this moment, Yun Qi turned his head again and set his eyes on Nan Nan's soul body, trying to get the latter's approval. With two souls in one body, Yun Qi naturally knew Nanan's understanding of Paradise Lost, the mystery and horror of Paradise Lost. Without Nanan's guidance, even with Xiao Yang's current strength, it would be no different from sending him to death. That's the heart of Paradise Lost. It's also where the things we protect are kept. At this moment, Nanan's words seemed to be filled with some kind of resentment. The reason for Yuan Tian and Xian Di's fight at the beginning was because of something in the golden tombstone. If it wasn't for the dispute caused by that thing, how could there be so much confusion in this world? Dakian is endangered, I need it. Facing the sudden seriousness of Nan Nan, Xiao Yang looked at Nan Nan with a solemn expression and said word by word. But, what's in there? You're going to die. Listening to Xiao Yang's firm voice, Nan Nan's voice could not help but become choked up. That kind of power is beyond the grasp of humans. Nan Nan shook her head, and there was a trace of sadness in her clear pupils, as if she did not want to lead Xiao Yang and the two into it. Once he stepped in, Xiao Yang's life would also be in a countdown. The Kardashian fight that shocked the world. Brainberries. Ads by Pub Future. Do you believe in Brother Yuan Tian? Faced with the question of Nan Nan, Xiao Yang smiled slowly, as if he had made up his mind. Seeing Xiao Yang's appearance like this, Nan Nan was unable to refute, and then moved up with the two of them. Although the speed was extremely slow, after 100 breaths, they successfully stepped into Paradise Lost in mid-air. Just poured into this legendary garden of gods, a faint coercion filled out, suppressing everyone's breath. In the garden, the sacred trees, vines, plants, etc. of different shapes are full of deadly threats, but fortunately, with the guidance of Nan Nan and the protection of the 4 spirit beads, the 3 of them easily passed through many obstacles and went to the garden. To the depths of Paradise Lost. In the process of moving forward, Xiao Yang found that the atmosphere in Paradise Lost seemed to be missing some key things. When the 3 of them came to a wide square, they saw the golden tombstone standing horizontally, and there was an ancient and powerful aura permeating it. Within the nearly 100 meters of the golden tombstone, there are actually no plants, only some ancient lines full of fluctuations in the years. Bang! At the moment of advancing, strands of golden ripples appeared out of thin air on the ground beneath their feet, but the 3 of them had just arrived at this piece of land, and under the leadership of Nan Nan, without the slightest obstruction, they plunged into the world among the golden tombstones. When the 3 of them stepped into the most mysterious space along the golden tombstone, Xiao Yang's pupils dilated rapidly, and a shock filled his mind. In the world in front of him, the space is small and dark, and in the void, there are 2 crystal coffins with splendid pleats standing horizontally. A dark green strange furnace with endless dark green flames burning. Gently sensed away, those flames clearly did not have any scorching temperature, but they devoured and burned the void little by little. Looking down, this space has been eroded by more than half. How? At this moment, a look of disbelief appeared on Nanan's pretty face. It seemed that what I saw now was very different from the last time I saw it. This is where I was born and where my memory begins. No, I can't just watch it die. While speaking, drops of cyan liquid actually ran down the corners of Nan Nan's eyes, and then the whole body instantly left the ground and shot towards the world below. This fluctuation? At the moment when Nan Nan took action, some of the powers in Xiao Yang's body had a vague feeling of boiling and madness, and an indescribable joy permeated from the depths of his soul. The source of Xiao Yang's appearance was probably the blue tears from the corner of the latter's eyes. Are you crazy? Yun Qi clenched his silver teeth lightly, then jumped up and followed him as if he had jumped into the abyss, with a stern voice hovering beside Nan Nan. The bodies of the 2 women fell rapidly, and there were faint traces of falling into the flame furnace. Retreat. Boom. At such a critical moment, Xiao Yang's body was burning with endless flames, and he directly twisted the void to appear beside the 2 women, trying to save them. When the splendid holy flame power all over the body came into contact with the strange furnace flames below, an icy touch caused Xiao Yang's body to tremble violently. Who owns the best legs in Tinseltown? Find out. Get out. Countless sweat filled Xiao Yang's forehead, and then the blue veins on his arms burst out. He snorted and detonated the holy flame energy around him. With the help of the violent recoil, he instantly retreated to the entrance. Xiao Yang, how are you? Just after returning to the entrance, Yunqi found that Xiao Yang and the arm of the flame furnace below were trembling violently. The power below, a bit like the guy behind the evil crack in the world today. Xiao Yang shook his head and seemed to sense the complexity of this matter. That guy. Isn't that guy a fusion of the leader of the extraterritorial and the center of the human world? What the asterisk is going on? Yunqi was confused by Xiao Yang's explanation. The guy behind the evil crack in the Great Thousand World is not the leader outside the realm, nor is he the world leader in the center of the human world. Question mark. Brother Yuan Tian and Shen Di have lived countless reincarnations in Paradise Lost. This space is the birthplace of the first holy flame and the first divine weapon. In the void, there are the coffins of the two gods, and below them is the casting platform of the gods. All this should be the ghost of that mysterious person. At this moment, Xiao Yang also suddenly felt relieved as the voices of the Nanans were all spoken. Xuandi took control of the first holy flame, tried to obliterate Brother Yuan Tian, annexed Paradise Lost, and became the new master of this sky since time immemorial. Unfortunately, he was defeated by Brother Yuan Tian, and the first holy flame was also broken into 3 parts by him, divided into Tian Yuanzi, Earth Yuanzi, and Human Yuanzi 3 origins, and fell into the Great Thousand World. Those 3 guys, after some chance and coincidence changes, one became the central world master of the human world, spent his whole life trying to devour the outside world, and the other became the leader of the outside world, and with his own strength derived 100 tribes and their opposition. Both of them are with the same mind. As for the last person, Yuanzi, at the moment of separation, he completely erased the 2 people's minds about Paradise Lost and the first holy flame being divided into 3 parts, and then this person's whereabouts are mysterious, and he has many the wisdom of living beings, knows how to seek auspiciousness and avoid evil, gradually swallowing weak and small creatures over countless years, and then growing themselves, vaguely planning something. Now Ren Yuanzi has completely swallowed and fused the power of the other 2 people. The guy behind the evil crack is a man from heaven and earth. Nan Nan's eyes were gradually filled with a sense of exhaustion. Obviously, these things were familiar to Yunqi when he was living in the depths of Yunqi's soul. It's exactly as I guessed. It wasn't until he heard the full disclosure of Nan Nan that Xiao Yang breathed out in relief. Ren Yuanzi's wisdom and methods are much more brilliant than those of the leader of the outside world and the world master of the center of the human world. This guy has been lurking in the dark, constantly using the 2 to eradicate heresy for himself, and finally, when the 2 are done, he kills them with thunder. The 2. I'm afraid Hitamoto is the biggest winner among the 3. In the First World War, the destruction of the Xiao clan, Yaroji's pursuit, etc., seemed to be inseparable from Ren Yuanzi. But what puzzled Xiao Yang the most was, how did Nan Nan know such precious and important information? She has been sleeping in the depths of Yunqi's soul. If it weren't for the summoning of certain breaths, I am afraid that she would never appear in her life. For a time, Xiao Yang's attitude towards Nan Nan could not help but undergo earth-shaking changes. A lot of this information was left by Brother Yuan Tian, and some of it was insightful when I lived in Sister Yunqi's body. During the conversation, there was a small and delicate lotus leaf surging in the palm of Nan Nan. At the moment when it appeared, the world suddenly became quiet, and it seemed to be afraid of it. However, although the ins and outs of the matter are known, the current crisis is still unresolved. This Paradise Lost, the paradise of gods known as the last hope of the great world, has already been secretly destroyed by Ren Yuanzi. Today's Paradise Lost no longer has the slightest divinity or chance. The old mansion that came down is only for decoration. Now, what are they doing to fight Ren Yuanzi? At this time, Ren Yuanzi's 3 origins were merged into one, and the destruction in Paradise Lost had already made him fearless. It seemed that everything was developing according to the latter's plan. Really, isn't there any hope? Pub Future adds. Looking at the 2 figures with different thoughts around him, Yunqi was also full of sadness, and asked a little reluctantly. If even Paradise Lost can't help Xiao Yang step into Do Shun and gain enough divine power to resist Ren Yuanzi, I am afraid that the Great Thousand World will be turned into ruins, desert, and a real purgatory in the hands of Ren Yuanzi. This is the most central place in Paradise Lost. It is the source of the divinity in the world, the source of the gods. Now that it has been destroyed by Ren Yuanzi, I am afraid that even I will not be able to return to the sky. Nan Nan shook her head. The bitterness in her words was indescribable. The breath in this lotus leaf. Looking at the two women with such a sad expression, Xiao Yang frowned slightly, and then stared at the thing in the latter's hands. That's not necessarily true, you say so. Your Excellency Yuan Tiandoshan? But at the moment when Nan Nan and Yun Qi looked like this, Xiao Yang's eyes went straight through the flame furnace below, and then his eyes stared at the lotus leaf in Nan Nan's hand, as if he was calling for something great power. Get me out. While speaking, the 10-layered shrine within Xiao Yang's body surged, and he broke out of his body in an instant, pouring out a steady stream toward the lotus leaves. In an instant, the entire void was turbulent, and waves of ancient aura suddenly rippled out from Nanan's body. It seemed that due to the convergence of Xiao Yang's body's power and the power of the 4 spirit orbs, some kind of mutation occurred in the lotus leaf. Hihi, Paradise Lost really hasn't been so lively for a long time. Just as Xiao Yang's voice fell, the flames in the flame furnace below trembled wildly, and then a phantom that was almost identical to Xiao Yang's slowly emerged from the extremely small lotus leaf. The phantom just appeared, and the unstoppable flame furnace below, as if seeing some kind of frightening power, turned back quickly, and vaguely revealed the prototype of the casting ***** platform that had already been engulfed by the flames. Boom! The phantom hummed softly, as if the supreme ruler looked at the ants with contempt. Yuan! Big brother Yuan Tian! Nan Nan exclaimed with excitement in her pupils. Junior Xiao Yang. Junior Yun Qi. I have seen Yuan Tiando God. The two of them bent slightly, and said respectfully to the phantom. I know your intentions for this trip. This is the last trace of divine power I have left in this world. Whether I can protect this world depends on your good fortune. Yuan Tian smiled slightly, stretched out a large palm full of illusion and stroked Nan Nan's forehead, indescribably intimate. Senior, now the fusion of the first holy flame is imminent, and the disaster is about to return to Dakian. The junior dares to ask. This so-called road of fighting gods, how do you need to advance? Xiao Yang suppressed the ecstasy in his body and said word by word. Because of the figure in front of him, even if it has been covered in dust for countless years, the fluctuations in his body are by no means able to compete with today's Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang knows that it is the power of the god's mansion, and it is the true fighting ***** supreme that surpasses this world. Battle god rank, you need to get through the battle ***** calamity. However, the conditions for the coming of the god of war are extremely harsh. To attack the god of war, one needs to fully step into the realm of the 4 gods and possess a divine artifact to have a chance to lead out the god of war. Yuan Tian opened his mouth, but there was no emotional fluctuation in his voice. Even such simple words caused an earth-shattering vibration in Xiao Yang's mind. The 4 gods were certainly for Xiao Yang. It's easy, but how to find the divine artifact? Now Xiao Yang's holy flame, the flame god cauldron, etc., do not have any divinity at all. Since I fought with Xuandi god at the beginning, both sides were injured, but the latter relied on the power of holy flame to forcibly take back the divinity above many holy flames and artifacts, which in disguise has created a world that no one can touch. The miserable situation of the fighting **** level. All the power of divinity in the present world is in the hands of the 3 origins of Xuandi. As for the divine origin, it has already been destroyed by it and cannot be found. There was a hint of helplessness on Yuan Tian's face. He was obviously as strong as him, and there was no other better way. Apart from that, is there no other way? Xiao Yang shook his head. It seems that all the ways and methods of attacking the god of war have been completely disintegrated by Ren Yuanzi. Now, the Great Thousand Calamity seems to have become a dead end, and there is no solution. Maybe there is, but you still need to find the answer yourself. While speaking, Yuan Tian's eyes were fixed on Nan Nan, as if there was something unspeakable. At the end of the sentence, Yuan Tian's voice turned out to be full of a meaningful taste. Just after he finished speaking, the whole body was burning with hot rays of light, and he dived straight towards the flame furnace below. Countless icy flames fled in all directions, and then went out after a short while. In the entire core space, there were only Xiao Yang and the 3 people, the 2 coffins of Yunshan, and the huge empty casting platform below. Under the casting **** platform, there are endless black holes surging, and there seems to be some kind of hot sacred flame slowly burning. That kind of power is enough to burn. The place of nothingness among the golden tombstones is the core of the entire Paradise Lost. Among them, the 2 immovable Yunshan coffins stand quietly in the void. The cold flames outside the flame furnace below have faded away, revealing a round table of casting gods that can be called a magic pen. There is a groove on the round table. The world below, like a real kingdom of flames, is daunting. At the same time, with the demise of Yuan Tian's figure, all the flames in the furnace below completely disappeared, and then those forces returned directly to Nanan's side. Just like Yuan Tian's last strength, it is only to reshape Nanan's fleshly body and destroy the endless flames in the flame furnace below. Those flames are not holy flames. The entrance to the void is above this void, so Xiao Yan stared at the abyss flame under the god casting stage for a long time before speaking helplessly. Those flames are equally powerful, but compared with the holy flame, there is a difference of 108,000 miles. And the casting **** platform below, of course, can cast artifacts, but without divinity, there is no craftsman who gradually reaches the extreme. Everything is in vain. Don't disturb her. Seeing that Yun Qi couldn't help but try to wake up the girl, Xiao Yang stopped the latter. The current Nan, the whole body is wrapped in a cloud of blue light, the whole body shrinks into a ball, and the power of the soul is slowly imprinted on that body. This transformation obviously takes some time. If it is disturbed by external forces, I am afraid there will be some unimaginable consequences. There is no spirituality in Yunshen's coffin, and it is as ordinary things. Other places in Paradise Lost have not found any aura about the god of war. Taking advantage of the moment when Nan reshaped the body, Xiao Yang and Yun Qi walked around, relying on the strength of the two and the guidance of the 4 spirit beads. They easily searched the entire Paradise Lost to the bottom of the sky, but they did not find the 2. The gods that people need. It seems that in this lost paradise, there is no record of any god, let alone let him step into the **** of war. In the former Paradise Lost, there were divine pills, divine nature, divine origin. Any of these 3 were enough to make Xiao Yang step into the god of war. But after the original battle between the 2 of them, Yuan Tian fell to the ground. The 3 origins of heaven, earth and human fell into 1,000, and Ren Yuanzi secretly returned to Paradise Lost with magical powers, stirring up the chaos of this paradise of gods. It seems that everything has become a given. Since this place is useless, let's get out first. While speaking, Xiao Yang forced a smile that seemed to be kind on his face, and then the majestic power of holy flame wrapped Nan, and the 3 of them left here together. This paradise of the gods, which is highly expected by countless creatures in the world, is a joke from beginning to end. Actually, these things are not your responsibility alone. You don't have to take it all by yourself. In the process of leaving, looking at Xiao Yang who said nothing, Yun Qi couldn't help but say aloud, she naturally knew that she couldn't step into Doshan, what this meant for Xiao Yang and the Great Thousand World. Since the moment Nan occupied his soul, the memories of the 2 began to merge, so Yun Qi naturally knew everything about Paradise Lost. Xiao Yang did not answer Yun Qi. The greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. Nan, who was in a coma, could not help but have a very long memory in her mind, and it seemed that a certain voice was calling her all the time. Nan, your birth is very special. Maybe from the moment you were born, it was destined that one day you will meet a human being that you are willing to protect. Maybe you will sacrifice your life or even your soul for that person. In the picture of memory, Yuan Tian's tall and mighty body is gently hugging Nan. His voice is soft, and he seems to have a premonition. I don't want it. I want to be with brother Yuan Tian forever. A little bit. When Nan heard the words, her spiritual pupils flickered slightly, and she said with a quirky smile. But at the moment of her action, there was a flame that was extremely difficult to detect in the latter's pupils, and Qingyan appeared in each of them. In the depths of its pupils, it flashed away. After the 3 of them left the core position of Paradise Lost, the comatose Nan's complexion gradually became ruddy, and they looked at the past lightly. The latter's face and appearance were as delicate and lovely as Yun Qi's, just like a slender fairy in the world. People linger and forget to return. When the 3 of them left Paradise Lost, a dazzling golden light suddenly flashed in the mid-air of the endless fire territory, and an eternal golden portal reappeared, and then slowly opened, a terrifying majesty that lasted for eternity. Slowly from it, the terrifying movement was as vast as some kind of divine mansion descended into the world. Bang! In an instant, a sky-shattering sound came from above the golden portal, like the wrath of the gods, shaking for 9 days, attracting the eyes of countless creatures in the world. Among them, the Holy King, Xiao Tianming, Golden Dragon King, Qing Yuan, and other peak powerhouses took the lead to emerge from the endless fire domain, and their bodies were suspended in the air. The eyes were full of some urgent fluctuations, seems to want to witness something. This volatility. But the next moment, I saw three figures flickering out of the golden portal, and then the expressions of Qing Yuan and others changed instantly, because according to their perception, the breath that came out of Paradise Lost now is even more than that. It's a little weaker when you step in. Could it be that some kind of accident happened in Paradise Lost? Xiao Yan not only did not step into the fighting god, but was injured instead. SIG, gather all the angelic holy power of my angel kingdom and prepare for the battle of gods. Looking at the coolness on the faces of the holy kings, Qing Yuan also smiled slightly, and then his pretty face changed, and there was a sense of solemnity and sacredness that strangers should not approach. Yes, Queen of Angels. SIG slowly walked out of the endless fire domain, and then the 11 angel wings instigated behind him, cut through the void in an instant, and returned to the kingdom of angels. This guy is the newly promoted archangel of the kingdom of angels today, regardless of his strength. All prestige are convincing. Forget it, let that kid be quiet. Next, I'm afraid we can only rely on us. With the appearance of Xiao Yang and others, the expressions of the Holy King and others became even more solemn, but they did not go to disturb Xiao Yang, they just issued orders in a hurry, and then in the entire quiet world of thousands, countless lines lined up. The powerful minds who got the number, rushed towards here one after another. This is a disaster, a doomsday. If you can't pin your last hope on others, I'm afraid you can only use your hands to defend, protect your homeland, and protect everything you cherish. Even if you give your life for it, the price of evil is everywhere. This video will end here.